very shortly, as when we're gonna hopefully see. Okay, so he
Oh, he
nicknamed it.
knew his lead going in, apparently.
Yeah,
This is an
and
interesting lead, though, because Jake needs to play carefully around that. That's definitely a Moonblast coming in.
yeah, so he has to fear the scarf, but he obviously doesn't know that. So like, maybe he would pretty like expect a moonblast or a focus blast to come his way. But I don't know. Most Gardevoirs do like to run scarf these days. I feel so. Maybe he knows that and he's gonna switch, but no, he's actually gonna stay in, and the moonblast is gonna hit Obstagoon in the face, and it's gonna do a lot of damage. Oh my god, that almost
Oh,
just one
oh.
shot, but he sashed.
He was probably leaning on the fact that Obstagoon naturally has speeds.
Yeah.
That definitely wasn't
Mm-hmm.
expecting that scarf, even if it's gone now. That's a lot of damage.
Um, but so like now Obstagoon obviously outspeeds, so he's gonna have a decision to make. Will he stay in, sack Gardevoir off, or will he? It looks like that's exactly what he's gonna do. So yeah, Obstagoon is gonna knock out the Gardevoir on the very second turn. But
That's potentially
knocking down,
huge.
yeah,
That's
knocking Obstagoon down to 1 HP, I think was definitely a good trade off considering his team composition. I mean, look at his team. Aside from
Kyurem doesn't really
Terrakion,
have a great matchup, but at the same time, with Gardevoir out of the way, that is potentially a huge
yeah,
opening.
I feel once Terrakion went down, Obstagoon kind of just ran through his team. But it even gets close combat, so I'm not even sure about that. So I feel like it's an even down for both sides. Having Obstacoon go down is going to go down this turn for the national Dexers, or at least yeah,
He,
they're the national Dexers. But
I don't know. He might try and. What are the chances he tries to swap that out? Because
he
that's a
could keep it
huge
around.
Bronzong check.
Yeah, he could keep it around potentially, but
I don't think it's likely, but that's entirely possible.
it is, and it looks like he's considering it because, like you said, it is a really good Bronzong check, and we're gonna see a plasma fist come out from the zero or oh, and he's
Oh,
gonna scout.
he's
He's gonna
going
go for
into an
obstruct,
obstruct.
which is cool.
Probably wants to keep
Obstruct,
that thing around.
yeah, obstruct. For those of you who don't know, he's probably thinks the I doubt he thinks the zero order's choice because the Gardevoir was choiced. So maybe he has
Maybe he's
something in the back with
prepping for.
priority.
Maybe he thinks he's Bandit or something because I've seen Bandit Zeraora come in and murder things.
Maybe I could definitely see Torkoal coming out here though. Potentially. I could definitely see I could see him sacking it, but I can also see him switching. Like you think he's going to switch, but I don't know. I think it's 50-50. So as you can see,
Maybe even a
Zero Ore is going to
Durant
fire off
switch
another
in.
Plasma
Oh no,
Fist, and
he's
yep, Obstagoon is going to go down here.
got a lot of value out of that Obstagoon lead though. That's a fair trade on his part.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's an even trade-off for both sides. I think Gardevoir going down is obviously bigger, but like Gardevoir was obviously threatened by Durant. Obstagoon was threatened by Terrakion, so I feel like it was pretty even on both sides. But we'll see what Jake decides to go into here. What are you expecting? And it looks, yep, there's the Torkoal.
Great nickname, Jake.
But yeah, I could definitely see a body press coming here because he's -2 defense.
Maybe
I definitely wouldn't want to stay in. And it's looking like he's gonna go to Heat more.
Torkoal gets Earth Power, right? Yeah, it
Yeah, it
does.
gets Earth Power and Earthquake, I think.
Yeah, it gets Earthquake too.
See, he's gonna
Either
switch out and go to the Heat more.
yeah, he definitely knew that. Oh, I thought he was swapping out because of the Earth Power because I
Nah, he swapped out
no
because he was
body
-2
press.
defense. And that body press, as you can see, does a decent chunk. And
Not
we don't,
quite
yeah,
half.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it does a little less than half, which is okay. He gets to keep a zero or around, and maybe we'll see a ground move here, but we do know from team preview that the Heatmore is indeed Chocoberry.
But at the same time, will Heatmore still die to an Earthquake depending on Jake's investment?
Um,
I, especially
I
at like
don't.
it's like at
Yeah,
55. it's still a potential knockout depending on how much investment Jake has behind it.
I don't think it will because he is the Shokaberry. But yeah, Heatmore's going to fire off the Toxic here, which is obviously huge. Torkoal is a very bulky Pokemon, so like obviously getting a Toxic off is huge. So we'll see what the Torkoal does. And there is another Body Press. And that means to me Torkoal doesn't have a ground move. What do you think about this situation?
In this scenario, definitely not a ground move. Either that or Choice. And I don't think anybody's running Choice Torkoal anytime soon.
All right, so I didn't see what move the Heatmore clicked, but I could
Heatmore.
definitely.
Oh, this turn? No, I was checking. So okay. I'm honestly expect knockoff. Let's see what item it has. Oh, it
Yeah,
was
he's gonna
running
go with the
boots,
knockoff, and he
and he gets the
used
kill
heavy
off
duty
the
boots, and
Heatmore.
down goes the Heatmore.
But the issue is that boots going away is a problem, especially when it's toxic, because Bronzong can probably come in and set up Stealth Rocks if it has it pretty easily. Or even Seismitoad at this point. If
I think
Seismitoad has
Seismitoad's
rocks,
a
it's
little
coming in.
dangerous. Seismitoad's a little dangerous because he could be packing the Solar Beam. I think if I were him, I'd go to Terrakion, but we'll see what Joseph decides to do. But he is actually going to go. It seems like he wants to go out into Seismitoad, which I think is a really risky play because Solar Beam is definitely a thing.
But at the same time, does Terrakion kill at that percent?
It might with a Stone Edge, yeah. Yeah, as you can see, the Seismitoad's coming out, and he's going to click Protect to see if he's going to fire off the Solar Beam, which is smart. But he's actually going to switch. So that
Doubling
means
right
that,
out.
yeah, Torkoal probably doesn't
Yep,
have
that's the
Solar Beam.
Rotom.
Yeah, he goes Rotom Wash, which I actually don't understand that play because Rotom Wash can't touch Seismitoad as well, but Seismitoad also can't touch Rotom Wash, so they're at a stalemate here.
One of them's going to have to switch. The only issue is...
He's going to go for
Yeah,
Sub, which is...
Rotom can set up in front of this thing.
Yeah, like, you don't really see Sub Rotom all that often, so that's a really good bring considering that Jake likely knew that he was going to bring Seismitoad, so that's a really good bring on the part of Jake and the National Dexers. In fact, I actually don't even think, like, he's in the sun, so he probably doesn't have anything to break the sub on this first turn. So I can definitely
Unless
see a
he's packing
nasty
a rock
plot
move,
coming.
which I don't expect.
Yeah. So it looks like he's gonna switch out into Bronzong, which is okay. But I don't know. I think the Regirocks are in trouble. I think Rotom's gonna go for nasty plot here. Yep, there it is, and
That's a
there is
problem.
going. Yeah, that is a huge problem. And Rotom's gonna outspeed, so like he's gonna outspeed before he gets off the light screen. So this isn't good, obviously, for the Regirocks.
Because if there's a Shadow Ball coming, then that is probably a near dead or dead Bronzong.
Yeah, so I think this Bronzong's going down. I think what Jake needs to do is I'm not sure if the sun went down yet. It looks like it did, but no, I don't think it did. But he's gonna go for Dark Pulse, which is actually a really good bring. That's a really good bring, but it didn't get the kill,
Yeah, it didn't quite
sadly.
pick up the kill, and that's a light.
But he got the flinch. Oh, yeah, hate to see it.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, hate to see it. So Bronzong's likely going down here. Which is unfortunate to say, but it's the name of the game. The game spits in your face sometimes, and yeah.
Sometimes the game just says no.
Yep. So,
but here's the thing:
really
that's a Dark Pulse. Yep, yeah, he's going to the Terrakion.
I really like this Rotom set, though. This Rotom set was very creative, but I actually think that the Terrakion switch might have been very predictable, and he might try and go for Hydro Pump here. And no, he actually goes for Dark Pulse.
Does the Dark Pulse still 2-hit? No, definitely doesn't.
But he's going to get the Justified boost, which I actually don't think is particularly meaningful in any way, because he's just going to close combat, break the sub, and then Rotom's just going to kill on the next turn.
Something's, or even a Hydro Pump this turn, because he's not getting through that sub. Terrakion was a decent switch, but that sub is probably the most important part of Jake's set right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sub's going
he's
down.
He's just going to take out the sub, which is okay, and let's see if he's going to connect on the Hydro Pump, and he does, and down goes the Terrakion. And I don't know. This isn't looking too good for Joe right now. I think he has to go into like I think the rest of his team is actually slower, barring Zero Aura, and I think Zero Aura just gets one shot by Dark Pulse. I think, or Hydro Pump rather. But so
It'll definitely get one shot unless it's running Assault Vest. It won't take a
which
hit.
it's not. It's running Expert Belt, so it's looking like it's going to get one shot. And I don't think Plasma Fist is going to one shot the Rotom either,
I think he's just hard relying on a crit right now to get that Rotom out of the way.
or a miss.
Or a miss, but at this point, he's probably going for a Dark Pulse over a Hydro Pump to get rid of that miss chance.
We'll see here, but he's going to fire off the Plasma Fist, and I think this will do about half. And yep, it does probably exactly half. And he is indeed going to go for the Hydro Pump, and he's going to
Yep.
connect again. Zero Aura is likely going down here. So yeah.
Oh,
He
he
lived on
lived.
11.
Oh, that's a problem for. Actually, no, that's a roll. I think.
I think he's just gonna I think Plasma Fist is a roll, and I think that Hydro Pump was a roll.
I think there's a lot of rolls going on around here. That Hydro Pump, I'll have to calc that later. That Zero probably has some defensive investment because hold on. Outside of Noivern and maybe Durant, nothing can really challenge Zero's speed on Jake's team, so he probably isn't even running max speed.
Mm-hmm.
Which probably is the only reason he lived that. Probably swapped a little bit of that to special bulk.
Yeah, so I don't know. I definitely think this Plasma Fist is a roll because it looks like he ran a lot of bulk in on Rotom and not a lot of special attack because he wanted to rely on Nasty Plot. So yeah.
Jake's thinking though.
Yeah. So and it looks like he is just gonna stay in, and Zero Aura is just going to fire off the Plasma Fist,
Crit or
and
roll, pretty much. Was that a
down
crit?
goes Rotom.
Nope, that was one hell of a roll. He probably got a low roll first time around.
Yep.
That's unfortunate.
So let's see. Jake has a few options here on what he wants to go into. He could go into a potential Scarfer. He could potentially go into maybe like Durant. I'm thinking if it's scarfed, potentially
Looking
outspeed
at
Zero
Joe's
Aura.
team right now, like his overall team, I'm not gonna lie. If I was Jake, I know technically I'm not supposed to go ranting like this, but if there's a Kiro coming out, it's scarfed. Oh, not.
There's Slurpuff.
That's interesting. What's he going for right there?
So I could definitely see the Slurpuff maybe going for I don't see it going for Belly Drum, so because obviously Zero Aura is faster and it's gonna get off the Plasma Fist. So I don't really know what the Slurpuff wants to go for.
He's still got the Durant and the Kirim completely in the back, so we know nothing about those, which that makes it a little bit harder for Joe to make some decisions because Jake's seen pretty much everything he has right now.
So as you can see, the
And there's
Zero
the switch.
Aura is gonna switch out and he's gonna go into Toad. And yep, there is the
Oh,
belly. He did go for Belly Drum. Okay.
that was the hardest read I've seen in a while.
Yeah, that was actually a really good prediction on Jake's part. But
I'll be
he's gonna get the
honest.
Burden boost, and I think depending on his set, the Seismitoad is very physically bulky. So I don't know. So maybe a play rough won't kill. Maybe it will.
Well,
Then he's
maybe
gonna
you'll get
connect, and down goes
that. That
Seismitoad.
definitely kills. Yep. His only hope is either Bronzong somehow tanking it or a miss. And I don't think Bronzon's taking anything at like, what, 30, 25?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like I could potentially see a drain punch coming out here. Um this Bronzon's definitely going down. I think the game is over at this point. Do think Jake has won. But
It's just playing for differential at this point.
exactly. So yeah, he's gonna go for the drain punch, and I do think Bronzon's going down here. Yep.
The question is, does Slurpuff still outspeed Zeraora even with
Absolutely.
Zeraora? Yeah, definitely. Slurpuff is like what, base 80?
Yeah, but its speed is doubled because of Unburden, so
Yeah.
it definitely outspeeds.
And Bird is +2.
Unburden is no, it's +2. So
I
he's
thought it
gonna
was
go for the Plasma
+1.
Fist, and there
Yep,
is the
there it
Drain
is.
Punch,
That's
and
the
that's
game.
going to be the whole game. So yeah, good game to both players, and congratulations to Jake for the